Every morning in South Carolina, 71-year-old Mr. Harris starts his day the same way. He opens the kitchen window to let in the soft morning light, pours a small cup of coffee, and grabs a handful of peanuts that he proudly calls his heart snack. For more than 15 years, he believed this little routine was helping him stay strong and active. But lately, something has felt off. He wakes up heavier, his energy fades faster, and his most recent checkup showed that his liver was working harder than before. He blamed age at first, until one simple question from his doctor made him pause. What was that question? And how could a harmless handful of peanuts quietly strain the body after 60? Stay with me until the end, because mistake number 4 is something almost every senior makes without realizing it. And if you enjoy clear, gentle health guidance, remember to subscribe to the channel. Mr. Harris always said his peanut routine was part of who he was. While other men his age collected fishing lures or postcards, he joked that he collected peanut jars. Peanuts are good for the heart. I eat them every morning. 15 years strong, he would say proudly, tapping the lid of the container like it was a trophy. And to be fair, his friends believed him. If there were a morning peanut championship, he would certainly be the undefeated champion. But in the last few months, something subtle had changed. He felt heavier after his walks. His energy dipped earlier in the day. Some afternoons he fell asleep in his chair before finishing his crossword puzzle. A strange pressure bloomed in his stomach after breakfast, enough to make him loosen his belt a little. During his routine checkup, his doctor mentioned that his liver enzymes were slightly elevated. Nothing alarming, but unusual for someone who seemed otherwise healthy. Mr. Harris shrugged it off at first. That is what turning 71 feels like, he told himself. After all, aging brings its own surprises, and peanuts were the last thing he suspected. They were supposed to help him, not confuse his body. A week later, he attended a community nutrition class at the local senior center. He liked joining those classes, partly for the information and partly because the cookies at the back of the room were often fresher than they needed to be. The instructor, a cheerful woman in her 40s, began by asking, "Who here eats peanuts every day?" Half the room raised their hands. Mr. Harris raised his a little higher, smiling like he had won something. When the instructor asked how people usually ate them, he cleared his throat proudly. Salted peanuts. A bowl in the morning. Sometimes more. I do not really check the label. I just pick whatever looks tasty. And occasionally, he said, leaning in as if confessing a secret, I eat the shell too. Adds crunch. The room erupted in gentle laughter. Not mocking, but the kind of laughter that comes when everyone suddenly recognizes themselves in someone else's habit. The instructor chuckled and wrote something on the board. Mr. Harris scratched the back of his neck, realizing that maybe his routine was not as unique as he thought. If peanuts could talk, the instructor said playfully, they might say, "Please stop treating me this way." Mr. Harris laughed, but he also felt a small knot of curiosity forming. What exactly had he been doing wrong? This moment reminds me of the video, "Stop Eating Oatmeal Like This, Doctor Approved. Fix." The title says enough. You can watch it after this one. As the class continued, the instructor began explaining how small daily habits can quietly shape the way the body works after 60. And that was the moment when the first seed of doubt settled in Mr. Harris's mind. Stay with me until the end, because mistake number 4 is the one that silently strained his liver for years without him knowing. Doctor explains how peanuts affect an aging body. When you look at a peanut, it seems small and harmless, almost like a tiny toy food. But inside that tiny nut is a mix of salt, oil, and natural chemicals that can help your body or quietly make it work harder. After 60, the body changes a little. It still works, still tries, still protects you, but it likes things to be gentle and simple. That is why the way you eat peanuts matters so much. Think of your body as a big house. Every room has a job. The heart is the water pump. The stomach is the kitchen. The liver is the cleaning crew. And the blood is the hallway that carries things from room to room. When you eat peanuts the right way, every room works calmly. But when you eat them the wrong way, each room gets a little confused. Salt is the first troublemaker. Salt in peanuts acts like a sponge that pulls water into your hallway. Suddenly the heart, the water pump, must push harder to move the extra water. It is like trying to push a heavy shopping cart instead of a light one. It still moves, but it takes more effort. Next is the oil inside peanuts. Fresh peanut oil is healthy, but if peanuts sit too long in a warm place, the oil becomes old. Old oil turns into something the liver must clean up. Imagine the liver as a cleaner sweeping dust from the floor. One day of dust is fine, but day after day, the dust piles up. The cleaner gets tired. The liver works the same way. Now picture the peanut shell. Hard, rough, like tiny pieces of wood. A young stomach can grind these pieces, but a stomach over 60 moves slower, like a washing machine that needs more warm-up time. The shells scrape, irritate, and confuse the stomach. It is not dangerous, but it makes everything harder than it needs to be. Then there is something almost invisible. A tiny mold that can grow on peanuts if they are stored the wrong way. This mold makes a chemical called aflatoxin. Think of aflatoxin like a very small crack in the wall of your house. You do not see it at first. You do not feel anything. But the crack slowly grows, slowly weakens the wall, slowly causes trouble. That is how aflatoxin affects the liver over time. None of this means peanuts are bad. They are full of good things too. But after 60, the body asks for a gentler approach. It wants less salt, fresh oil, no hard shells, no old peanuts with hidden mold. You did nothing wrong. You were simply never told how the body reacts as it gets older. And there is still one more thing, something that almost every senior does without thinking. We will talk about that next, and it may surprise you how small it is and how much it matters. Mistake 1. Eating peanuts that are too salty. When Mr. Harris grabbed his morning peanuts, he always said the same line with a proud grin. Just a tiny bit of salt makes it taste right. The instructor smiled and asked him to show everyone what that tiny bit looked like. He dipped his spoon into the jar and lifted nearly half a teaspoon. The whole room laughed softly, not to make fun of him, but because every person there had done the same thing. We say a little, and our hands say something else. Salt works quietly inside the body. It is like a tiny magnet that pulls water into your blood vessels. Imagine the hallway in your home suddenly flooded with water. Your heart, the house's pump, must work harder to move everything through. When you were 20, that pump was brand new. After 60, it still works well, but it prefers gentle tasks. Too much salt turns a simple snack into a heavy job. Most salted peanuts carry more sodium than they appear to. A handful can hide more salt than a small bag of chips. And because salt lights up the tongue, you keep reaching for more without noticing. It becomes a loop. Salty taste makes you want more. More salt enters your body, and your heart keeps pushing against the extra water. The fix is simple. Choose unsalted peanuts or lightly salted ones. And if you still want flavor, sprinkle cinnamon, garlic powder, or smoked paprika. These add taste without tiring the heart. After 2 weeks of less salt, something magical happens. Your taste buds change. Unsalted peanuts start tasting richer, warmer, more natural. You realize salt did not add flavor. It hid it. Peanuts are not the enemy. Salt is the little troublemaker sitting beside them. Mistake 2. Eating too many peanuts at once. During the class break, the instructor placed a bowl of peanuts on the table. Everyone took a few. 10 minutes later, the bowl was empty. The instructor laughed and said, "Funny how none of you remember eating that many." Mr. Harris lifted his hand and said, "I think the peanuts eat themselves." I look away, and suddenly they're gone. The whole class laughed again, because everyone knew that feeling. Peanuts are small, but inside each one is a lot of energy. Think of them like tiny batteries. One battery is fine, 5 are fine, but a whole pile becomes too much. Imagine wearing a backpack. Every peanut is like dropping a small toy into it. One toy is nothing, but 50 toys make the backpack heavy. Your body carries that backpack every single day. When peanuts pile up, the body stores the extra energy as belly fat, not the soft kind under the skin, the deep kind that wraps around the organs. Doctors call it visceral fat, but imagine it as a heavy belt squeezing your middle from the inside. Everything becomes slower. After 60, your body burns energy like an older car. It still runs beautifully, but it uses fuel differently. If you eat too many peanuts at once, the body cannot burn all that energy in time, so it stores it. Peanuts are healthy, but even healthy foods can become too much. The fix is gentle. Use a small bowl. Put 25 or 30 peanuts in it. Close the jar. Eat only what is in the bowl. If you want more volume, pair peanuts with apples or carrots. They help your stomach feel full without adding more energy bricks to your backpack. And keep this in mind. You are not doing anything wrong. No one ever explained how small but dense peanuts really are. If these examples feel familiar to you, tap like so I know you are still here with me. Mistake 3. Eating the peanut shell. When the instructor asked, "Who here has eaten the peanut shell at least once?" almost half the room lifted their hands slowly, as if they were confessing something small but funny. Mr. Harris raised his hand last and said, "Sometimes I eat it for fun. It feels extra crunchy." Everyone chuckled. It was the warm kind of laugh people share when they realize they have made the same mistake. Peanut shells look harmless. They look natural. They look like something your stomach can handle. But shells are not food. They are made of cellulose, a tough fiber that behaves like wood. If you broke a popsicle stick into tiny pieces and tried to chew it, that is what peanut shells act like inside your stomach. When you are young, your stomach can try to grind them down. But a stomach over 60 works slower, like a washing machine that needs more warm-up time. When peanut shells go inside, they do not break apart. They scratch. They scrape. They confuse the digestive system. Some people say the shells add fiber, but this is the wrong kind of fiber. It is like giving sandpaper to a tired machine and expecting it to feel better. Instead of helping, it makes the stomach swell and causes irritation. The fix is simple. Remove the shell completely, but keep the thin red skin around the peanut. That thin skin is full of antioxidants and is gentle for the stomach. If you want extra crunch, lightly roast the peanuts or mix them with crunchy vegetables. You still get the satisfying chew without sending tiny wooden pieces into your stomach. Peanut shells may look harmless on the table, but inside the body they act like small wooden puzzles the stomach can no longer solve. Mistake 4. Storing peanuts the wrong way. Most people think peanuts are tough, almost unbreakable. They look dry. They look safe. So they sit on warm countertops, near the stove, in open bags, or in thin plastic containers. Mr. Harris used to keep his peanuts right next to the toaster because he liked the sound of the morning crunch. One day, the instructor asked him, "How long have those peanuts been there?" He shrugged and said, "Maybe a month, maybe 2. The class chuckled again because everyone suddenly remembered a forgotten peanut jar at home. Peanuts are full of natural oils. These oils are gentle and soft, like the lotion you rub on dry hands. But when oil meets heat, light, or moisture, it changes. Imagine leaving a bottle of olive oil in the sun for weeks. One day it smells fine. The next day it smells sharp and strange. Peanut oil behaves the same way. It becomes old, and old oil makes the liver work harder. Think of your liver as a housekeeper sweeping dust. A little dust is fine, but if dust appears every single day, the housekeeper becomes tired. Warm, humid air also invites invisible mold, not the kind you see on bread. This mold hides deep inside peanuts and grows quietly. You will not smell it. You will not see it. But it creates chemicals your liver hates. Older adults have livers that still work well, but they prefer gentle tasks, not surprises. The fix is simple. Put peanuts in airtight glass jars. Keep them away from heat and sunlight. If your home is warm, store them in the refrigerator. Avoid buying peanuts from open bins because air, humidity, and dust touch them every minute. If keeping your liver healthy matters to you, tap the like button right now so more seniors can see this message. Mistake 5. Eating peanuts contaminated with aflatoxin. Aflatoxin sounds like a big word, but it behaves like something very small. Imagine a tiny crack forming on the wall of your house. You do not notice it. It does not hurt. But day by day, the crack grows. That is what aflatoxin does to the liver. It comes from a mold that grows when peanuts are stored in warm, damp places. You cannot taste it. You cannot smell it. You cannot see it. That is why it is the sneakiest danger of all. During class, the instructor held up 2 peanuts. Both looked perfect. Then she said, "One of these might be safe. The other might have mold you can't see." The whole room went quiet. Mr. Harris whispered, "But they look the same. And that is the problem. Aflatoxin hides behind a normal appearance, like a shadow on a sunny wall." Older adults are more vulnerable because their livers have cleaned a lifetime of meals, stress, and medicine. The liver keeps working, but it appreciates kindness. Aflatoxin is not kind. That is why buying peanuts from random places, old markets, or damaged bags is risky. The peanuts may look fresh, but their history is a mystery. Choose trusted brands. Choose sealed bags. Check the dates. If peanuts smell odd or look darker than usual, throw them away immediately. Peanuts should feed you, not fight your liver. This reminds me of another video on our channel called Over 60? Never eat cucumber with these 3 foods. The title already says what you need to know. You can watch it later. Mistake 6. Ignoring peanut allergies. Most people think peanut allergies only belong to children, but allergies can appear at any age, even after 60. Some seniors eat peanuts for years and suddenly feel strange one day. Their lips tingle, their throat feels tight, their chest feels warm or heavy. They assume it is nothing, but the body is trying to say something. Older adults sometimes ignore small signs because they think, "I have eaten peanuts forever. It cannot be an allergy." But the immune system changes over time. It becomes more sensitive, like a smoke alarm that reacts after a lifetime of dust. Even a tiny bit of peanut can cause itching, rashes, stomach pain, or light coughing. Cross-contamination makes things trickier. A spoon used for peanut butter, a salad made in a kitchen that also handles nuts, a sauce containing hidden peanut oil. Taste and smell weaken with age, so seniors may not notice these small dangers. The fix is gentle. If your body feels strange after peanuts, talk to your doctor. Read labels carefully. If someone in your home has a sensitivity, keep utensils separate. Listening to your own body is not fear. It is wisdom. And now comes the most important part. Knowing the 6 mistakes is only half the journey. What truly matters is how you fix them. The good news is that each fix is simple, gentle, and easy to follow. In the next section, we will walk through the doctor's simple steps to help you turn peanuts back into the small, powerful, healing food they were meant to be. Just stay with me, because the safest way to enjoy peanuts after 60 begins right now. Doctor's reflection. What really changes after 60? On a quiet morning, long before the traffic starts humming, your body begins its own kind of morning shift. Your heart wakes up, the liver stretches, the stomach warms itself slowly, like an old engine preparing for the first drive of the day. As gentle as this rhythm is, there is also something delicate about it. After 60, every organ works a little more carefully, like musicians in an orchestra who know every note matters. This is where peanuts step in. They are tiny, powerful, full of good things. But the way they move inside the body, the way they react with age, can surprise many older adults. Not because peanuts are dangerous by themselves, but because the body at 60 does not behave like the body at 30. What used to be effortless now needs patience, guidance, and small adjustments. Understanding this truth is what helps peanuts heal rather than harm. Imagine the body as a small, quiet town. Every road, every bridge, every building has a purpose. Peanuts enter this town with a suitcase full of nutrients, protein, healthy fats, vitamins, antioxidants. They come with gifts. But if they arrive in the wrong way or at the wrong time, the town becomes crowded, confused, even stressed. Let's walk through this town together, slowly, like a gentle tour. Each step will show you why the body sometimes struggles with peanuts after 60. The first stop, salt in the river system of the heart. Inside your body, your blood vessels are like long, winding rivers that carry life everywhere. When salt enters the river, it drags extra water along with it. A little water is fine. But too much water makes the river rise, swell, and push harder against its walls. Your heart is the pump, keeping the whole river moving. At 20, the pump pushes strongly, powerfully. At 60, the pump is still reliable, but it prefers calm waters. When peanuts bring in too much sodium, the heart feels like a pump pushing against a rising flood. It works harder, longer, with no rest. And the funny part is, you do not feel it. There is no alarm, no siren, just quiet pressure. That is why many older adults feel tired for reasons they cannot explain. The river inside them is always a little too full. The second stop, peanut energy in the quiet backpack. Peanuts are small but dense. Inside every one, there is a pocket of energy. Think of calories as tiny rocks placed into a backpack. One rock changes nothing. A handful barely makes a difference. But 2 or 3 handfuls, especially late in the day, begin to add weight. At younger ages, the body burns these rocks quickly. It climbs hills, runs fast, uses energy like a young dog chasing birds. But after 60, the body becomes thoughtful. It moves slowly. It stores more than it burns. Those tiny rocks stay in the backpack. Week after week, month after month, the backpack gets heavier. Many older adults think they gained weight because of bread or sweets. Sometimes, it is the handfuls of peanuts eaten absent-mindedly in the late afternoon. Not because peanuts are unhealthy, but because they give more fuel than the body can use at once. The third stop, the oil inside peanuts and the tired liver. Peanuts contain oils that are beautiful when fresh, smooth, clean, helpful. But oils react to air and warmth the way apples turn brown. Slowly, silently, without warning. When peanut jars stay open too long, when they sit on warm kitchen counters, the oils begin to break down. Think of the liver as the town's cleaning crew. It picks up everything the body cannot use. Dust, old chemicals, broken pieces of nutrients. When peanut oil turns stale, the liver must clean twice as much. It works overtime, often without complaint. But after 60, the liver prefers a lighter load, not a heavier one. This is why some older adults have slightly higher liver enzymes without knowing why. Their cleaning crew is tired. The fourth stop, digestion and the slowing clock. The digestive system is like a gentle clock. Every gear turns, every piece clicks into place, slowly and carefully. But after 60, the gears turn a little slower. Stomach acid becomes weaker. The intestines move more calmly, not urgently. Foods that were easy to handle years ago now need more time. Peanuts are firm. Their skins are fibrous. Their structure takes effort to break down. A young stomach handles this easily, but an older stomach needs a warm start. Water, patience. When peanuts enter too quickly, when they arrive without enough liquid, the gears jam a little. Bloating, slower movement, a sense of fullness that lingers for hours. It is not the peanuts' fault. It is simply that the clock ticks differently now. The fifth stop, the invisible traveler. Deep in the world of food safety, there is something called aflatoxin. It is not a monster. It is not dramatic. It is more like a tiny crack in a wall. You do not see it. You do not smell it. You do not feel it. But over years, it weakens the structure. Aflatoxin forms when peanuts are stored in warm, humid places. Good brands prevent it. Cheap or poorly stored peanuts do not. For a younger liver, the crack is manageable. For an older liver, the crack grows larger, quietly. This is why older adults must choose peanuts carefully, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. A gentle comparison. 2 people, 2 paths. Imagine 2 70-year-old friends. Mr. A eats salted peanuts, handful after handful. He stores them in a warm cabinet. He rarely checks the date. His stomach works hard. His liver works harder. His heart pushes against extra water in the river. Mr. B eats unsalted peanuts, a small bowl at a time. He stores them in a cool, sealed jar, drinks warm water beforehand, lets his digestion wake up. After 3 months, Mr. A feels heavier, more tired, unsure why. Mr. B feels lighter, calmer, more steady. Not because one is lucky, but because one understands how his older body moves. The closing turn in the town. When you look at peanuts through this quiet tour, things make sense. Peanuts are not the problem. The way the town inside you responds to them is the key. And this understanding leads directly to something hopeful. Once you treat peanuts the right way, the river calms, the backpack lightens, the liver rests, the clock aligns, the cracks stay small. This is the gentle truth your body has been waiting for. Now that you understand how the body reacts, let's step into the next part of the journey. Learning the safe, simple ways to enjoy peanuts that support your heart, your digestion, and your energy every single day after 60. 3 months later, on a cool morning in early spring, Mr. Harris stood at his kitchen counter the same way he had for years. But this time, everything felt different. The house was quiet, the window was open just a little, and soft light moved gently across the countertop. A small jar of peanuts sat there, clean, simple, almost humble. No salt dust, no shells, no half-open bags on the counter. It looked peaceful. He reached in, took a small handful, and smiled. Not the proud smile he used to give, the one that said he believed he was doing everything right. This smile was softer, warmer, a smile of someone who had learned something valuable and decided to treat his body with the same kindness he gave everyone else. His steps felt lighter these days. He no longer woke up with that heavy fullness in his stomach. His sleep had grown deeper, calmer, the kind of rest that makes mornings feel new again. His doctor had even raised an eyebrow at his last checkup, surprised that his numbers looked steadier than before. "Whatever you're doing," she said, "keep doing it." He told her the truth. "I didn't change what I eat," he said. "I just changed how I treat it." Later that evening, while walking through his neighborhood, he thought about those first days of trying to adjust his habits. How strange it felt at first to break old routines. How surprised he was when flavors began to shift and small changes started to matter. And he whispered something to himself, a sentence that seemed to settle everything inside him. "Peanuts are still delicious," he said. "I just finally learned how to make them delicious for my body too." There was no regret in his voice, just a quiet sort of gratitude. It is a funny thing about being over 60. You start to realize that your body is not asking for perfection. It is simply asking for gentleness, a softer touch, a little intention. And when you give it that, even something as small as a peanut becomes a friend again. If you have ever made a habit for many years without questioning it, you understand what Mr. Harris felt. The tenderness of discovery. The peace that comes when you finally treat yourself with care instead of autopilot. And before we close, there is one more place your curiosity may enjoy traveling next. If you want to understand more about foods that look harmless but behave differently in the body, you may want to watch the video, Eat Turmeric? Never combine it with these 3 foods. The title alone will tell you why so many seniors found it helpful. As the sun dipped lower and the evening wind moved through the trees, Mr. Harris headed home. His steps were slow but steady. In his pocket, he carried nothing more than a few roasted peanuts for later. But it wasn't the snack that mattered. It was the feeling of knowing that small choices, made with intention, had given him back a little more ease, a little more lightness, a little more joy in the simple rhythm of his days. Your body feels the same way. It never stops working for you, even when you are not paying attention. Especially after 60, it only asks for one thing, that you treat it with kindness each morning. And when you do, your days begin to open gently, like a window catching the first breath of daylight. If this video helped you pause and rethink a small habit, consider subscribing to the channel so we can keep walking this journey together. Share this with someone you care about, especially if they enjoy peanuts the way Mr. Harris once did. And if you are over 60, remember this one thing. Your mornings are sacred. Treat them with care.